Disclaimer. The views expressed by the hosts and guests of the podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of any of their sponsors, employees, and affiliates.
I listen to it on the internet.
Being Tsonga in SA.
Listen live, online.
I'm Shane. This episode of Being Tsonga in SA is proudly sponsored by Sagwadi Hotel, a 4-star establishment in Mukutlu, in the town of Hazeview. For more information, contact Sagwadi Hotel on 013 010 1780.
I listen to it on the internet.
Being Tsonga in SA.
Listen live, online.
I like the non structured
Approach.
yeah podcast, because we don't need a format to go this. We're just hanging out talking, whether isungula kuri ku cemuweni kumbe ku tsutsumuweni loko isuka isuka.
And I'm thinking nsuku xi le ku teni ka ri khale. Loko
xi pfuka laha yi hundzuluxiso ku ri so that the cable isn't closer to you. No, the earphones.
The earphones.
So when I hundzuluxi you will do you will monitor the levels. Just as long as she got in the car -6.
Well, it's not. Because
we're good.
You love the non-structured stuff.
No, I don't like structure, man. From now, I'm Tsonga, I've never been a. That's why I should stand in Kuba Mzalwana as well. Because Mzalwana, if I go to some others, man.
And other legal last one.
Yes, man. Like, but in Sunday school, I was kicked out of that shit.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm not sense, I'm not stresses. Magali ashkep.
No.
Na Adam and Eve. I was like, yeah.
Mistress Emmanuel mistress.
I can't sit still.
No, where you're asking questions that we can't answer.
Plus, Papa mina kuri savage enga bala bazalwane. Tsundo basukuru already resungula kuti ngenisa kereke. So what happened where we used to stay? Afoslo. It was like an area like Tamamo police.
Okay.
You know, like why want to protect land.
But in the barracks.
No, it was like we want to like protect land.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but majority of the police Bale Force Loras na Jimistin, they would, when they get bonds, they would buy in that area. Because it was like previously owned Aktamabalungu.
Oh yeah.
And then they just extended the black section. And then Bantima took over even the white houses.
It is so much long.
Yeah, it's from Betela and Guas.
You want one.
Yeah. I got great migration.
So, they do that every time where blacks come in, they move out.
Property value drops. So bazalwana lava ku ri na like some a ku ri classes a ku ri ka fashion, you know, a nga rhangisiwa kereke, a ku rhangisiwi like a social club. So time ra mina nga twanana na hansa le ivi yi fika gang yi ku yita ku tikhongeriseni la kaya, time ra heta ku dzamba nga ri tshama sofeni ri nga tsuki. Va za va famba ri kha ri cinca TV swi nga heli.
No,
so
speaking of Azalana, so I saw this post, whether fake news or not, I don't know. But man, what am I out there?
Magam.
Not Magam. What man? I'm not Beruru.
Yeah, na ibona account le.
Yeah. So he posted something about Kore. Mfundisi la man TB Joshua.
Yeah.
Ula hlonze ka karaka tamani.
Leswi a nga dlaya vana va vanhu leswi a ti nga va ti-building a ku ri ku kendleni. There's no bodies that were ever going to come back.
So anyway, so he was buried inside the church. So apparently, allegedly, Kori Banava, they are now worshipping. So I'm like, but wait a minute. As Muzalwana, because I'm Christian. And we always say it's demons, it's yet. If this is true, because as far as
I don't think these people it's no longer about religion.
It's
The
not,
religion
no.
is the vehicle, but it's more, even ba superstitious. Bo abafamba tinganga once upon a time,
Of course.
and then they seek a different type of power.
Some divine.
Emako, if you believe in a nigga with superpowers who can heal people, manga's gone already. That nigga who call me magic is bad. It's like look this win when you're away from your pastor. Wapagama, mara look is Sunday. Drop everything. Ulaya look benita hallelujah thing I if Demon Kotaku, it's like if he can do a mass sacrifice while the world is watching, what do you think he has done to those people?
Do you think
that was a mass sacrifice? Imagani anga hanyang ensu. Mara, leswa ibuloyi leswi. Naswa Bushir ibuloyi. Bakhenda ngofu bafana la.
I hear because some of them actually were in Mozambique actually.
Wasiteba bangwana ba endla so and kuna xisa xin'wana vutomi bya ni thanda sivara ni khani lava tinhlamulo hi ze fika na le va propheteni sivara loko ni fika laha propheteni luwe so we started being friends because he was a young dude so he could kind of understand me so ambyela uri phela uri ka mina phela na wena una moya loko ya se sungurile akuno una moya moya wo profeta akuna moya se ngibusa lokuthi loko ku amkela moya lo fanele ngene akufane ku ya ntshaveni
Ba ku recruiters wa.
la ku recruitweni nkarhi lowu swa
Ufana wakala munhu by the way.
hayi no angaseli lava timali uri nta ku tirha when loko so sharp campaign that was a strategy anga duri the man utshungula hi titiya swara tiya na makhandlelo
Wa ku tshungula.
akuhlahluva hi titiya ku nusa titiya uhlata leswi hlataka ku va hi tiya ntsena na makhandlela no mara let's not go into the technicalities of how does it do it so uri no mina loko swi nsungula ani ri a renkeni va sungula ku vona tikhala vona swilo
Mara ku tiva tikhala renkeni mos.
swara yeah swi lehini swa kona but we then move and start talking about mhaka ya vafundisi se na ngivutisa ku ri se look while he was explaining to me how he ended up in the mountain ni ri endla yini laha ntshaveni lero phela swi vulavuliwa loko se swi fana nyana no khendla nyana kumbe ku thwasa aku hambi vafundisi loko va sungula tikereke va ta tingangeni
I heard that story many times.
ya bihiwa kereke loko yi lava yi kula wa vona loko va ku fire wa swi ta va ri swi endla njhani leswi va ku tlhavela nghala
So vanhu
se mikwembu ya wena ni everyone by default all of us na mikwembu lava nga na mikwembu ya active nyana loko ni ku fire kereke hinkwayo mikwembu ya hina yi nga laha a kerekeni yi sungula ku vona nghala leyi sivara kumbe loko u nga tiyangi swona u ta cema ngopfu ani loko va ri ku cemeni laha natso hayi ku botswa nkarhi wun'wani va ku tlhavela na ndilo loko u twa nga ku u le ku tshweni va ri madimoni kasi a u le madimoni nkwembu wa wona ngo chuha sivara u le ku voneni nghala or u le ku tshweni nkwembu wa wena u vona nga ku wena u le ku pfurheni hi mhaka munhu loyi u rhwele swo karhi so ku hava vafundhisi lava prosperities va swo va swi phungelela leswi enda va la ku hi bya a va hambananga na vanhu vo sungula ti-bottle store ku hava bottle store successful sivara hi ku xavisa byala.
What do you mean? People drink every day.
Sivara. And how many bottle stores are there in the world?
People drink.
Yeah, and why do they pick one spot vasunga heli?
Because they enjoy the vibe.
It's not the vibe, Sivara. Vibe liya vitaniwa hi tisandawana na swilo hinkwaswo swa mixakaxaka Sivara. Wa vona that's why wena umzalwana a ni hamtshembi ka swilo leswi. La Sivara hi vuya machokolo byanini Sivara. Uchano ya kaya Sivara hi boka loyiwa. Hey, Mulo is such a terrorist type of vibe.
You don't like orderly stuff?
Nah, man, I've never been.
But you like, or you've been saying that you want to work at MLFM.
Yeah.
You worked at Kaya FM.
Yeah, I worked there. And I realized I'm not cut out for radio. I'm not that organized.
So how are you going to do the MLFM?
No, I just want to be microphone. I don't want to be behind the scenes.
Oh, I see.
When I was trying to get into MLFM, like TV, na trela Red Pepper, please step in. I was trying to get James to hire me. So ima kwa nchaba nikwamela mana n'wana ngumfonela ungwembela ngibzela ula ku interview ka crazy ivi awela and then start asking him about evasola ku butsa radio, how do you get in and all that, and then I got that information. Then ngibzela later on tell him it will no longer work out, it's fine. Then I took over because I knew.
Strategy. That's bad. You know, there's also, you know, James in Tukun.
James Squabash. Yeah, he took over.
So you can't be doing that to my case, man. Because what the hell?
That's what. You must find a way in, Swara, one way or another.
I'll again, like.
All again. Mena Carl, Swara, and Kanum like James. And then he did not entertain me. I had even put together a show called Inkarwa Kon.
You were serious?
Yeah, I had a proposal and the time clock and everything.
You
I've always been those kids. For me to start blogging because I wanted to write. I'm a
yes, you were doing
and they kept
curious as well.
No, just curious is because Ningeni Laya through Botolan. Because it was my first time seeing the blog. No, there was a community online. I was like, so look on Mail and Guardian and City Press. They will tell me about budget.
Yeah, blog radio.
Okay. Because I was like, yeah, column, can I just contribute? I mean, but budget. But I watch they were not feeling my style.
Yeah.
And then I got tired of waiting, and then I started the blog.
So radio, radio at the time.
Radio is now what we're doing the podcast. That's how the dream has been evolving. Don't you remember? I kept pressing you, Greswara, we need to start a podcast.
You know what? You know Tolweni Friday.
Yeah.
By the way, I've traveled this weekend. It's 11th of July. Ani can go one Saturday.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I left on Friday. It's 9.
Yeah.
So I had to go record first.
Okay.
So before Ningena, one tested COVID.
At the recording place.
At the recording place.
Okay.
One tested COVID. I can record. But look, no mala. So this, I wanna say what you've been saying in terms of radio stuff. It's not. I think there's one thing that we can keep our lights going. A low hanging fruit. The studio, bar.
Yeah. We need
studio
to buy
for recording the voiceovers, recording all these things, mixing things. I'm sure we can get black companies coming to these things.
What's when we first met?
Yeah.
The company next door, C Audio or something.
You see that area, Bryanston.
Yeah,
that's what they do there.
The ad, those niggas, yes, but a parking lot and all they do is audio.
Yes,
they specialize in audio.
We need to have a branch that if I can speaking of branch doing audio, I have phoned Xolani because when you work with Xolani,
I'm just curious. Xolani is but Xolani is the first Tsonga influencer. Serious, followed by me. For people to ever make money online. But Vatsonga. Xolani is the original, OG. Even my writing style. Xolani gave me life-changing advice.
Hello. Xolani, apparently, by the way, you are the first Tsonga influencer as well. If I mean, you're the first Tsonga influencer, everyone who followed. Vote for Xolani, just curious.
Ndlovu.
Hello.
Minjani seme?
Ngipukile but mshap.
Sharp ngofu.
Nami right.
Sure.
Sho manjani?
Rime njani siku?
Hayi no ni grand. Feel lost challenge.
Kasi isonto wami mfimngena.
Yeah, Monday to Friday.
Babalabla xilungu phela boXolani. I genge le standini ngata tirhiswa 7 days a week.
You want to tell you because I standing, we standing.
Actually, Xolani says Akonuk. He queen Akonuk. Which side? Because I kind of grew up there. Nin Mashaka Slintoni. Nin Mashaka Tilamash. Well, that is.
Originally, Numa Cottondale, ne? Cottondale, Nile, Skarka Ekonuk, Nam, Butlara, so, ne? So, my parents were moved out to Ekonuk, which is Dorobana Shosha, down in
Sabab.
I couldn't BM Kabutolan's man.
Erin,
Ya, hi nkarhi wa apartheid a ku nga ri na BM ka n'wina hi nkarhi wa apartheid sibara.
amongst other cars. I'm not
Amongst other cars.
Amongst other cars and a va ri na swithuthutu ka Xolani
Tututu. Tututu.
hayi xithuthuthu xa velapi sibara like Harley Davidson.
No,
U vala that's why a nga maketangi Mumbai leyi a nge tirhi 7 days.
Mara wa isa lava.
let's go back to Just Curious. Maka ya Tsonga influencer leyi.
So ere mina ni ku hlamusela my version.
Yes.
Xolani maybe u ta ku hlamusela yena u nghena kwihi. Mina when I discovered it's like namuntlha what we call black tweet. In nkarhi wa mina when I discovered it was more centralized ka Just Curious. That was like the blog that
I used to see Just Curious, but I never understood what it was.
so it was like a community of it was a /magazine/
Online
blogging
something.
community. So our team le lona vanhu va yena a va tsala ti-article, put them out there, and the comment section was what made it.
Okay.
It was like an entire community, like a comment section. What Black Twitter is today is bar. Actually, endleka ka Just Curious back then. And then because Ndlovu yena R1 arina vito leri a ni ri twisisa a ku ri wa ka yena yena a ri Mutsonga ni n'wi vona oh kasi sibara ya le kaya, and then we started chatting ka vari in BBM.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, mbani bakhale yo.
Yeah, vanhu va khale.
So pini uyi okume njani?
No ngi byela ku ri ni nyiki pin sibara. And it was not embarrassing back in the day to ask.
It was embarrassing.
No, wena phela khala udumile na nga dumanga sibara. So to ask n'wana na un'wana ku ri ni nyiki pin ni bula na wena.
Okay.
And mina ka BBM ya mina a ni ri na everyone that I ever imagined having a conversation with. From Botebu Khomahlatsi wa yizo.
Yeah.
Ana na yena ka BBM. So na Xolani we started talking about writing because I had started writing. I wrote an article for Nirivele website ya kona because mina ndala ku tsala leswa motivational before ni ba savage. But tweeting wise I had already a style leswi a ni ri ku xi develop ni bicola na ku a ni ri n'wi vutisa ni ku ri kasi u tsala njhani to get people because these articles were popping. And when I was like, hey, and you see your tweeting style, combine that with the formal style and just find a way balance line. And from that day, I never looked back. That's how my style.
So Xolani Katakata is your mentor.
Xolani I must, that's why. Mr. Miyagi.
Wow.
Mr. Miyagi, my blogging style started from that conversation at Xolani. I could fuse your tweeting style with the regular formal, the way you write. And then I fused it and it worked. And every time I post that article, I Just Curious via Lelu at command it.
How were you writing? What were your topics, Xolani?
My focus was mainly on entertainment. Ne? So, when I interest around this and show was the exclusivity of the Mangali dance style. So, because
Out of Savage.
Sorry.
Out of Savage.
Auri savage ungakaneti phela ungahembi ni kona phela.
I think maybe nako
it was like real goboza. Yes, that's the
yeah,
the
like the
perfect.
fact that listen so maybe I'm still in real time. Maybe we went to an event the news is already out as compared to maybe a newspaper which will feature that on a Sunday or a real goboza
On a Sunday, yeah.
which will feature it on one. So maybe that is one of the reasons there was a lot of interest around that, and maybe now style of writing as is already alluded to. So yeah.
I don't recall being part of that community.
No, it was a big community, but in its own pocket.
No, I knew about Just Curious.
Mara ihlaya.
I knew about it, but I think I never liked reading because I had a lot of scripts already that I was focusing on. I'm like, can I? Mara, you looking at Xolani. What happened to
I think the site he changed to Chika Online, if I'm not mistaken, owned by Lelo Boyan.
Kasi Mandela.
lelo
Crush ya mina so.
Oh, is it that girl angaba ka scandal xa ti ANC? Yes.
lelo boyana was
Google line.
arkarel
Crush ya
goboza
mina so.
Susan ava
She used to do those nongiboni ka Real Go Boss.
Yeah.
Anyway, lelo wangitiva lelo so.
and then she was
I know.
also the producer ya some entertainment show ka SABC3 ya Tibotage. I think about Flash if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Amendla mali kana ka Just Curious
Not necessarily through Just Curious, mara through the relationships that the site created for us, not the brand. So to some extent, I'm not right. Lukaku amongst
Ite influence color influence. Mina munhu usungula ungitiva endla mali ka internet
yeah. So
internet bar.
I
couldn't believe it.
like through most of the products that you think I got SAB like Vo Hansa,
Oh, yeah?
Fruit, Vo Unity.
Boperon. Ay lahlela.
Yeah, mara
Na
by the time
Peron,
you go to Vo Peron, so I'm very actively in the space. So maram we did make a few coins out of that.
Yeah.
And you know me now how I build up my base. So every time I would post an article, please just link back to my website.
Yeah,
So I know what's on the color. It was okay to say follow the writer at website.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would put my link there. If it's figure the pep. And then at one point, I sense all about controversial. I'm not saying she used to turn down my work because
But we are controversial.
Okay, go on. We misona ungtive before nungtiva. Nikomala before nito washangofu ka vutomi bya misa loyi. Please warn me about the stuff.
No, man.
You know what's my first article?
Yima.
The top 5 most abusive characters in TV. I was glorifying Manwo Batitlap as well. Bungozi, and that shit blew up.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever trended with Tongumzami.
Yeah.
Turn it on
Twitter.
I remember. Kambe akurivo ngozi na woman.
Ngozi na xisele xa ka Home Affairs, Shambulu. Yeah, I did 5 and then
it
So how do you join Just Curious? Because were you still ka MLFM when you were doing Just Curious or after you left?
So look on ka MLFM, I think it was 2000 and towards the end of 2008, ne? And then I did
umuntu wakhala sibara.
Yeah, it's Kali.
Ane ka matric 2008.
I started to get in good, that's serious. And then
gaming.
2009-8, Antira Love Life, I had Kotase Love Life as a producer for their radio shows, like DDX, SABC radio stations, some commercial radio stations. So, so that platform in expose the entertainment side of my career. This is about nightlife, basically, not necessarily the career aspect of it. So as a result, antikumani got the party scene and that sort of
free
thing.
Alcohol. Hey, mzilande anjani bza mahala. So akelelwa ite brands.
So ngaro lo akuri shilo ka Facebook akurna something called, I think, Notes, if I'm not mistaken.
The Notes.
Yeah. Like I got a solar article.
Naitsunduka the Notes section of Facebook.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So nago kwamanzala the notes of my experiences at the party lady. And
What are notes? I don't recall them.
Yeah,
How do you find out these things?
Facebook had like a note section.
What was that?
It would allow you to write mapapil as well.
I don't recall it.
Instead of a post, you could put your stuff in notes. Banukale would, especially writers and poets would put out their stuff. Ka Facebook, you would have pictures plus notes. They don't have those features now, but notes was that.
Yeah, I think I couldn't
So-
know, if I'm not mistaken. Nerivala ku kambe ayengitwaye madam.
Yeah.
So I posted a
So
lot.
usuka laya from obviously ani say you are in the circle pela. You are in the so you have access to the table. Ufama the party lady, you write about these guys. Lelo mhlangana njani? How do you as or because we're starting to such one.
So at the
Back
time,
then, Lelo, yeah.
so at the time, Lilo was I think was Real Goboza, or just finished Real Goboza, and then
Yeah.
at the Raka TVSA. TVSA also had a blog section, né? And she used to go by
Yeah.
the name of, I think,
Remember what that brown sugar or something?
Brown Sugar. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So, look, Asupala, hopefully website, not just curious.co.za. So now just curious.co.za, I reopened for the contributors, people who had access to this space and who were willing to share the article in the different spheres. Some could report the kind of reporting that we're doing, and then maybe exclusives. I remember Bopatu used to write about TV stuff.
Yeah, Patu was part of that, isn't it?
Yeah, and then like different aspects of the entertainment game represented differently by people who maybe are active in that space. So that's how that relationship came about.
Kubuyiwa kule mos. Khale ka internet ka as well. So radio yisungula rini sbar because I think I once read your story sha very interesting. Ngako ka page ra ambi James mara ninga hemba when do you start in radio?
Radio is only 2000, hey?
How were you still in school? Because I remember I
Yeah,
saw a picture of you. You were like a kid.
I was 15 years old. So you know what happened? And Nzanzala Polokwane,
Okay.
boarding school. So I got into trouble. Nah.
Wendley.
I think and then hostel, so
Yeah.
Lava I monitor at the hostel, I push that sort of thing. I think
You push back.
underfed up in the like push yo or little go the man will look at push every day. Maybe I start koka mkumba koka mlenge and then come bed wale so
Yes, sir.
I think in koke nenge and then and shoku kumelele after that kumeni no react kumeni no ketela or whatever and then ban Songolanga, and I think balloon
Just curious.
getting into trouble, and then as a result,
Okay.
she's bad one time because I was just like I will done mistreat and demand, but it was interesting. So I went. It was mid-year, and I grade 10, and then I went back to economic. Luckily enough, in Kankuma admission at a school, so
Okay.
it was around that time, local Love Life is go launch at youth centers amongst South African communities, and
Yes, I remember. Even basketball did that stuff.
Yeah,
Like a lot of
yeah,
stuff that
yeah.
yeah.
So kukho like a love life program. Kuna basketball, drama, radio, and no motivation, if I'm not mistaken, and some other programs. And then and my interest the radio part. And then in audition of
yini sho kukoka ka radio what's
I
pulling
think
you
nje
there?
kulo bana liking and it's strange because akuri something
awungayingiseli radio loko wa kula
aningisela radio mara angasibona ngakuri something lexi xi nga tshama xi occupy miehleketo ya mina mara loko se ni ehleketa loko ni ri la Polokwane ni sungula ku dyondza high school I remember one day ni baleka xikolweni on a Friday ni ya le ka munghana lonene FM ni ya hlometela hi fasitere ene le Savannah around that time a ku ri na satellite studio xa Jacaranda radio Jacaranda FM. So we would also sometimes go here my fasitere kwala mara at the time we never really thought much of it ku nga ku ri xilo lexi
I could pullings, but I don't pulling.
yeah
sa u famba na mani minkarhi lowu i mani xihoxo xa nyama xa wena xi ri ku kuceteleni ku ri
loko ni dyondza la Petersburg na Sen Academy a ni dyondza na wonke tiva Gami
oh gamiswek
ya nga ri xihoxo xa nyama xa mina ku va Brian mina ai tshama rumini ya one
wa swi tiva loko hi vulavula hi Northern Academy loko u le direni posa kaya hi fumana
Yes.
ri fike ri byela ku ri u ya dyondza boarding school a Northern Academy ni ri ready ivi gli loko hi fika taxi ni va ni chicha ntlhaveni sibara a ni kwati njhani sibara
One to me.
u twala kahle
Natokala. I'm to me.
it's your earphones wakuta Xolani kumbe is
no
it still on the line?
no
so
because-
wena na Gami i tag team abafana bale anambuyi indawo yo ambuya mihlangano kwala
lexi hlamusaka ni Gami loko kula ya tshama hostel a tshama karhi a ba mbedo hi like swilo nyana karhi a tshama ri chayachayeni a endla ti-sound hi milomu and then loko se vona sweswi u endla music and then hlamarisa yeah no
but that's what I'm saying, Kuri. Even you going to Pipi Mafastere and going to all those things, clearly there was something. I think it's the same thing that happens with looking at the access to information. And because
I know there were 2 stations which you could
like in general as Vantima. We have interest in a lot of things, but because we don't have access to information
or exposure to
exposure, that's the word, or exposure, we end up not knowing what we want.
That's true. And then now maybe to realize
what's one. Because like you had a bug. Can you imagine if Warren Tsonga we were exposed to that thing? Out of never DJ Arc by the age of 6.
Yeah,
it's a fraud, that child.
Hey, but a
fraud ihlangilexe
fraud ya Juma
papa kwa shona wa coordinator ngovu anyway irethi ka switshela
so vana coordinator vele
ungena la ka Love Lives bar who are you mimicking your radio presenting on or Iman Xolani wa wena back then who gave you the right words to say
so the trick about that experience ne iku stage package way isilungu wabo so loko stage package way isilungu around that time iko the radio presenters ethi ufaka utitwa maybe ukabo metro and stuff mara afi
efo komanya bala kufonela gate ile odisa kodya hello
what's happening? Did you pause dating I
just
you muted?
He's back.
Oh.
Xolani. Oh. No,
I'm here.
he's back. Yeah.
Yeah. Mina fana ke tirhisa phone ya mina swigangu swa mina swi ni hluphi loko ni ri ku tirheni. Wena phone ya wena yi busy swa.
I beat man bangele gate but ko odeni ka swakudya. Ani odi swakudya.
No.
Oh, miselo yo odi swakudya se uri nisganga na ko ganga yena.
So you were speaking of Metro and how you got your style. So it comes packaged already Shilungu. What I assume is to deliver it each song.
So let's just
Come to FM.
look it up in an layer of life, training area of life.
Yeah.
Already I think it's modeled around Metro na YFM yana. So go
Or to make it youthful.
Kitoti radio station let it youthful and because they want to roll it out as a national program. I guess they needed it to have an identity that would be significant to what a young person was at that time. So,
yeah.
So in geographical placement, there's not really much of Metro FM light. And sometimes maybe through DSTV.
I open time Metro.
I see in another show who I could open time.
Mnet open time.
Medium wave, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the open time. Yeah. Met from 5 to 7, isn't it?
But I think we're good to medium wave.
Phela Xolani anga wena sibara ayiwakhale indlela leyo. Isobo ma 2000.
Anzangu say English. Open time it's one open time. As long as ume standing open time wayitiva. Ayithi open time.
Kambe khala radio ayikhoma ku na FM na AM.
Wasibo?
Hayi na switiva sibara.
Wow, so how long miselo?
Mara anzanga experience nkarhi wa ku leha like
se na wena tlansi ka bazi na yi cola ndzika.
But cheese boys wa ku na BM so DSTV angarishisha le kule sibara. So how did your first show go? Did you screw it up? Ntsona loko ngena ka radio ka khaya man. We did a pre-record. Ebe load ka system.
Okay,
so ni enda double.
Aku decide for you answer. Xolani koma ole dile ku phone.
Ibuplele ba? Yakantsari.
Hi man.
Nifikile.
Mane, ya nifikile.
No, so
ni lo recording.
Okay.
No, so. Ngeta tako kwani?
Wait for
he will.
The feedback from
Sure, we are back.
Yeah, we're here. I'm here.
So come by you threw me off.
I threw you off. So I know already earphone. I'm not traveling na muntu so and blanco nifikile and I have a bad tendency me akungabuli ukuthi senifikile. So ulash kudan sisida mbiti lezwa. Ukuru mwana men la tlafa na phone angatamule phone.
Come by nerukwe. Ayi balabla. So are we samling makai of your style where the specific people laba au lang tagabono go, you know, this is
ngari na munhu anumi ka pese because essentially shankoga akuri kun masara the trade
deliver
from delivery and also from a production perspective. So leswaku ndala kufana na woman man akuzanga kuba something lexi ni nga va ni nga struggle hi xona because na me n'wina ni titshemba ku hayi me asiphoying maybe
so loko ungena so how do you move from MLFM from in Love Life to MLFM?
So
is it and do you feel like we qualify in terms of
Tsonga? So how I got it
yeah
MLFM was okay, loko se ni pase matric, ne? Loko ni pase matric, I went to Durban Institute of Technology, learning about performing arts technology, which is the production of theater productions. Funny enough.
Went the theater productions.
Yes.
Musla who cast Xolani.
Eh?
Xolani cast our actor.
I mean,
It's an actor, really.
So that was fun for me, Mara. Challenging around ne. I got a job offer or a job opportunity, not an offer. I saw a job opportunity. I love life at the headquarters. Now joined there, ne? And because that also had a sound element to it, it made me keen interest in sound. So initially abandoned to go near Love Life to pursue a junior position in the radio department. So look on Love Life, and some Pretoria. It says that man look our path crossed Katsonga. I think when there's this guy, Prince, if I'm not mistaken. That's
Prince, yes, Prince Tall was my friend. Yes.
You guys
we're tight, yes.
You were tight, and I think I'm remembering that the audition star is it cards or something. Or
yeah.
I cards me.
No, we had audition cards and we had auditions for people to come and join the program that we under
our state theater in Pretoria.
Yes.
Yeah. So around that time, Antama Pretoria working as Sentin. I think I came to one of the auditions one Saturday, and for some strange reason, some local where Tamtama call logo msuga, like the flat dam Tamagayo main skin mover in Cairo.
We're destined, is what
I'm telling you. There's this girl from Ekonogwagu, Bridget. Ne?
Wait a minute, I know Bridget.
Yeah. So
Your voice is very
I'm not
deep,
sure if I'll come away and come up Prince like I got said there. Mara, loco ni figure to stay there. You guys are moving out.
Yes, it's on the side, like a
I look at bank, yeah.
Like a bank, it's meant to,
yeah,
it's the heart of it.
Yeah.
You're going to
Yeah.
When I'm a Nigerian,
No, it was before Nigeria at the time.
No.
Since battle is my local here, side there. Abari there and there.
Banabashkolo.
I tell you.
It was the accommodation, the place.
Yes, it was.
Oh, hey, it's a small world, ne?
So clearly, now we were destined this bar.
Hey, I'm telling you, like I think we missed each other like just a month or something. Because I remember Logomensika. I was coming from Durban to start working play. I love life. So the cheapest place for me that I could afford was in Pretoria. So what it meant is I had to commute to taxi to work every day. So
sure.
So
out there, I love like Catherine on the left somewhere.
Yeah, I wear that road.
I did couple of I was on book of voice of
possibly. Yeah, I don't look there. I don't book. Even one clump said I don't break it down. So Logoni commute every day in a John. So somehow, okay, so I think phone, phone I install FM. And then 10 years of the bit of going set up Ghana Lone. Ne?
Akuna xikongomelo kumbe awula ku twa
Isikongomelo la kuto kahle kahle regularly kumelela yini because ani ngicela loko na ri Tsonga mara it was not something we see under na keen interest show.
Yeah.
So because I
So
had a lot
now
of
that you are
time
in the business, you're
Nampunzu.
paying extra attention.
on the breakfast show, I would listen, and then also in the afternoon, going home, I would listen. So now, I need a lot of notes of things that I think, because already I entered a radio space, I was familiar with certain things that,
with the world, basically.
yeah, of how things could be done. So, Nsala, email one blind.
As ending email clear, is my actual email clear.
Yeah, I want to play. You want to play and station manager, not programs manager.
Vabzela the way bangele ku loot lane.
Yeah, send
So
something like
that's
that.
figured.
Yeah. Me big clan.
I mean, this one, and something give me so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And how did they take it?
They took it positively, funny enough.
Is
No, it can feedback. Kuna among us a position that the producer at the time. Yeah.
Oh,
Baku-
the hosts they were running on their own.
Yeah, the presenters, I think that they reported directly to programs manager and they're responsible for their own content. So if I go, no, and they have not positions to one thing I approve soon must apply. And then soon was maybe 2 months later. So
They call you 2 months later.
yeah.
They call you 2 months later with a job offer, or they just
Yeah,
touching
for
base?
to say good, no, I will submit a CV for these things, and then I did that, and then I got a task to present what we think we can fix on the station based on the task at hand, and then like they say,
And alive. Mele Pulukwan when you're doing this. Are you doing this?
Polokwane. So like I had to come to Polokwane for that process. So like
Yeah.
they say, the rest is it.
So first day how was it? Were you intimidated? Imana got bra and
Logon figure
MLFM.
figure first day ngihlangana na Quentin. So
Quentin. Well, come in Love Life.
yeah, I did a love life, but we had never crossed paths before. So mara ikhanganira thungula ko la kamngana lena. So anamkela sharp, and I think also age wise, because I'm Tsonga from figure. I think I was 2021, somewhere there.
Coming with new ideas, dale June, dale Shilungwe.
Well, still.
What was your first show? Which show did you do first? Do you remember the first show you were given to produce content?
Which was the then breakfast show. And like
with the big show.
Ungeni prime time as well.
Yeah, man, this time and show
random shows.
Yeah, prime time.
Who was presenting during the?
I actually good combine. Yeah.
Oh, James.
Yeah. Na Timbi Tobela. And then Isa Sydney Baloy on board. And then Ichincha Ingavi Fislana Mina Iva Papam. And then James I in the sports. And then Sydney became the main anchor. And then Chimbi our co-host. And then look, we disbandiwa show that's when I left. And or anything. I think I'm from say go
the way they did it.
Yeah, because I did a shuffle that a bit emotional.
Listen,
is it?
James is doing. Imagine Osukaka, you are the host. If you say news readers, but a sports reader, isn't that it's technically a demotion?
So I think like we end up shuffling as Garumanya. I was meant to go on a weekend show or something, and I was just like, I know.
Oh boy, demotion.
And
Abamtela one by one, lembe na lembe.
hey, I want
Barangi let cool baku
to
James.
power. So
Oh,
I revamped the
yeah,
bull.
Baba,
You know, when you
Ish.
got the new power. I take
And
it off.
Amira Nabshak.
So I went
Radio
back to
Borella
Love
so
Life.
some.
So look, when you tell her back to Love Life,
Yeah.
then when I left Love Life, I was just like an assistant in the radio department. So so I went back
Which radio
as
were
a
you
senior producer.
For the Love Life.
With Love Life, which was a more senior position with a whole lot more responsibility.
a whole lot more responsibility with a whole lot of more money, right?
With a whole lot of more money, yeah.
Hey, that's the point, maybe.
So I went back there, and then Lishingani about my going back there is that it unlocked a lot of opportunities for me. I can always be like, go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah.
Say, ay balabuleni usitshele ke. Sitshele was there when I went into radio.
Yeah.
As soon as
Kakaya.
yeah, because I've only done one radio station.
Okay,
After
okay.
that, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not chilling. Because when I left Kai, I made 4 times my salary in waiting, writing scripts.
Oh.
I was like, never. I'm never, ever producing content for another person.
Like,
Yeah, because, yeah, Malilani Wala Kai, I made it in waiting as well.
I know
4
you guys
times.
are engine, Johnny.
Nere malele nga enda ngweti ya leyo yin'we le ka Cheds. I made 4 times my salary ya le khaya. Ngweti yin'we. And from that moment I was like, I'm quitting TV writing. Not TV writing, radio. But one thing I realized got radio is what I never could put saying kuna difference, you know. Khaya is like it's like clever blacks as far. It's a black excellence London. So I need to say, why me nani basluki ni labangwani who are producing content like me have cars that I can afford.
okay.
And then now when they were starting to break down, go no, these salaries are not negotiated the same, man.
Yeah.
It's not standard. It's not a standard. Everyone content producing gets the same. And they moved me to now produce a show at Tivos, which was a big show, but still, I was not getting the.
Maybe it's Lungu, maybe.
Isilungu njani sibara? Awungari silungu. And it's just is no and because you know the Sufika Subabala when you are liked by the upper nigga. Because I was employed directly Greg. But I had the same strategy for Xolani. I was the email guy. Na Xolani when I was submitting
I'm evidence I me sabano.
Oh, it's what I know. Evidence. You must make a plan. Now, when I wanted to get into MLFM, and when he came back to MLFM, I want to present this to Joe, not to James. It was an English/Tsonga show for the urban people, but still, Xolani Angela straight up.
I think in concept
yeah, it was like half and half or half, yeah, something like that. The radio in Borella was so good. There's never like as transparent as we obvious so good, but even the awards, which station wins, national politics so on.
Because if you say you produce that show, Tibus, there was a point I used to like that show.
Which show?
You hear Tibus Kakaya FM. You used to do the top 10, what.
Yeah, but Menani Commissary stable. I only did it in 2017.
I know it was late. No, I was not listening to it back. I was listening to it back.
2017, yeah, 17, 18. That was me. But I need to say, how do you survive and this is my personal Mina I see MLFM as like it's ran like a community radio station because of obviously of the history. It used to be Radio Tsonga, which was meant for the community, Vatsonga. But there was a change, which it was supposed to be more inclusive. However, I broadcaster mainly to Vatsonga. Say, look, mina I feel like it's run like a government department.
It is a government department.
So
Besides that, it's like all the other SABC run station.
I've never had encounters with the other stations. Is
No,
it the same thing
I've
across?
had in different encounters because I've had interviews in almost all of them.
Yeah.
My experience, I'm not saying this accurate, Xolani. Is it Xolani or Xolani?
Xolani.
Izulu, swear.
Okay. So so here's what because there's a certain, it's like SABC
TV. Yeah.
There's a certain mandate that they can't run out of. There's certain guidelines that whether they like it or not, they can't run out of.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as Naboka. As SABC, it runs almost like a government.
Well, from a point of there's less or is it a commercial thing where every year Bashafula I would expect that to happen guy MLFM to bring in new talent. And no, what I'm trying to understand is that the politics internally, especially Kuchicha management, now your jobs are at risk. Reshuffle. How do you deal with that type of setup? Since Ubuyin, there's been 3 management changes. James left, Ngena Ubisa Famba, Iman, Imkwena Swiss, Matthews. Who's the current?
I Matthews.
Rivela Bosse. Okay, the new guy. How do you like urula njani moyeni coach tiba kuri power is always changing hands and you have a previous experience you ngakujikela.
I think maybe for radio what could be the reason why talent sticks around longer than other radio stations. Akunati radio stations that where people that speak our language are afforded an opportunity to showcase their talent, especially level beyond what currently exists as Munganeloleni FM. Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be one of the reasons why enough room for new talent. Although there is talent coming in from time and again, but it's a question, do they have what it takes to maybe penetrate the prime time presence that is already occupied by
but I think
that are different.
It goes back to what you are saying, Corey. I think which I never thought of it this way. For the fact that we don't have many other competition of that level of Tsonga to that, it really stifles.
Because logo ingisela every time logo niyakaya ningisela or now and then na stream because I hardly go home. Now I stream GCR Namala FM. All those guys are literally like mimicking whatever
MLFM are doing. Exactly.
They're like miniature MLFMs. So the style of presenting is one, and it's impossible to Quentin just for another rural dude
who speaks like Quentin.
You might as well keep Quentin. But Leshmina, okay, do you think the new manager will give me a job, Swara?
You say interview.
I'm checking the market. James Angala Shagarawa and James Angala. No, it's just an assessment.
Thank you. Hey, what's the
Korean kanung eh di mana ngara san kala antir so
No,
no sick at one point no
three. Guys, you are
Well, like, oh, okay, no. Okay, okay.
yeah, let's address one controversy. You remember you were blamed, Xolani.
For what?
It was a big scandal. Kamba Windley when
Kambe
Genge
abakuwindlini.
Tea Party wanted you to be fired from MLFM.
Oh, because of the music
Bo-
awards thing.
Yeah, and you know the music awards didn't go well, and Genge picked Xolani and blamed him.
Nah, Nisha, I just think. Nalo kunisha seketana mutlha. I still feel like, sometimes I guess loko
Loko bad regular and regular.
yeah, loko ufike ka level yin'wana you met with things that will test you, yabo. So that was one of those because out of the blue, someone accused me of things that actually cool now. Also, the powers that are invested
You
in me
have.
by the corporation. For instance, this year I was going to City Awards. I was not even sitting the
music commit.
So it's just that
Yeah.
when things like that are leveled against you and you are part of a corporation as big as that, the one that I work for, there are certain channels that you have to follow in terms of how your defense must come into play. So I think because a great deal of it was going out, Manchester Awards, and in my personal capacity, I had to wait for the processes internally to issue statement, relationship distance from that without me actively being the one to say go. Mara awards committee was this is
Kambe can't just respond. SABC has official spokespeople that have to put out the official statement in terms of response at the awards.
nika too much power and they assumed maybe my involvement in the station could be that deep. And at the time of those accusations, ni assume the responsibilities that you assume the station outside of my current responsibilities. So I guess in a way I could be a blessing in disguise to say I can sway this the wrong way. So ni queen opportunity to be part of something big and to direct it right. Sorry?
It was and I could come in again and it's under the controversy.
Mara ilun komanya just for one day. I think sin mari
I got siguro vele mago
yeah,
Did the whole thing trend?
Beyond that,
it was
beyond that, nothing got a season. Yeah, no, ne. Think listen, I'm bani just unkava over my quavo.
she's down.
I
want to figure into parts. Xolani must fall. What shops at the awards? Yeah, and Brian and Quentin. Yeah, maybe I tried to get answers from who's this guy. He was the head of the music of the award committee. Iman Boto and Lia Yushakelangovli. Pet Kalang. Hey, yeah, it was like what they did. They triggered. They triggered the bomb, and to find out Manu already had issues with the awards themselves. So Manu were saw it as a vehicle to voice out their grievances, but what they were not aware is that they were assisting the attacking team, the attacking party, to gain more support. Momentum was big because everyone wanted answers now. How? Why are all these accusations coming? And even artists, what was worse, the musicians are now even pointing fingers at Xolani.
No, Mara, you know what I took from that experience, ne? You must look back sometimes maybe there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Yeah.
Because
gain it point.
Not necessarily the point. Like even people who didn't necessarily think of me were now thinking of me. My name was being spoken to in mouths that it had never existed in before.
You popped up in the right rooms.
Whether they are right or not right, Mara, the fact that the name is gaining more traction. No, Xolani, 2 months, Xolani. No, I was. Oh, okay.
That's so funny. So Brandwin is war. Ngakuba home. Say na xigandlo se.
Hey, so man, I really didn't think I could kwalani, and especially because I feel only see singaka day to day operation. Yeah, I mean, to an extent, therefore, after the she,
it was easy for you to be cleared from it.
Yeah, like even internally, didn't even because everybody knew how is this even possible if this guy is not part of the committee? In Chelsea, I was based on what merit? You mean as man?
Ay balabuleni leso saseka sina fatherhood.
Ay balabuleni yini?
Leso saseka hikuva mutswari.
Yay, you're starting at the
Single father united.
Mingani katsi ka hele me.
You manga single father,
No one is not like kwa chupcho fana na single father.
Or single parent ka hle.
Kwa single kwa n'wana wo endliwa hi munhu ai mahele wo titswala. How are you dealing nabo Peppa Pig nabo all these cartoons shilungu swa mi lwa njhani makale ya shilungu
naba Cocomelon naba bari mani Baby Shark
n'wana wana is older than ours, so how is language an issue ka age ya yena or una strategy u huma njhani maka ririmi?
Please advise us.
N'wana me is 6 turning 7 ne, and the nice part, I'll say the nice part in Magako, watch the Tsonga, like not 100%, but then I can say is stronger. Like for instance, now the economic for holidays, go download the latest version is stronger.
Software update.
It upgraded the software is stronger.
Kuvaka ka swi na nkoka ni vone n'wana mina as soon as xi ya ka xi sungule ku xi vulavula properly, not properly obvious because she's still for trying to figure out speech, but ku vi na ku cinca loko ni n'wi vhakisa kaya ro sungula na loko a vuye a sa swi twisa ku va Mutsonga swi vula because there was like hundreds of people around there va vulavuleni ririmi leri, so tindleve ta yena ti pfuleka na ririmi ri olova. Yeah.
So
ririmi se wena what's your goal like in terms of ririmi? Swa ku vava ku ri n'wana u tiva xilungu ku tlula ririmi ra ka vona.
No, I shouldn't bad, man. You know what the thing about languages is, ne? Language is barrier. If you limit yourself to only speaking one language, and logo ulanguta shilo shamba rating and direction in. Yes, I mean, would love for our language to be highly represented in spaces and places that are higher than what is currently available or like in Africa go.
If you know just one language, you know limitation.
Limitation.
Yeah, limitations that rim. So, which other languages are you planning for your daughter to learn? China sama ingena tikweni. Do you imagine a world la bala ku Mandarin when on TV?
So, my daughter speaks Tsonga, English, Mama Xhosa, so she has interest in Xhosa, even though I'm not sure fluently, Mara. she has picked up the language from the mother's side.
Okay.
I think look, maybe over now more people she'll be able to converse, but she does a little bit now. And then because we're in Polokwane, she's picking up Pedi.
Yeah.
She's Afrikaner crash.
Oh.
So
Baze bakota
Yeah,
mabhunu lawa na mina mani laveni n'wana mina loko ni when I moved to Rodiport, hey loko ni ya laha ti crash letiya swi va hinkwavo loko hayi no
yeah,
the apartheid in me did not allow.
Nafunge foundation outbreak, so
Oh yeah, i tiko ra vona.
yeah, so and then there's that. So ngala swa ku so of late na interest ka Paris na shi French. I think it would be good to officialize that.
Yeah.
And whatever language le anga idyondzaka, because the more nu limit ka Xitsonga na just the English when it's Xhosa swi vula ku ange ita tsandzeka ku exista ka vutomi lebyi lavaka byo maybe like a settler in other parts of the world, he dream bigger than I could have dreamt.
Yeah. I was ready when loko va ku vikela hungu ro inyimbisini svar were you ever
You can never be ready, and I think in ku nge ku be ready manga ku a nga tshama nga hansi wa vona se
yeah
yendla n'wana n'wana loyi swi tikumekela
hey, skin to skin
So-
ita midlaya swara skin to skin.
So what was important? Mara swi tekelanga nkarhi ku
To adjust.
as my responsibility
Yeah.
mina ku tiva ku what was expected of me, and I think maybe staying nkarhi right, because I was 29, and at the age of 29 loko languta 29 shakutala se ani swi experiencing. I wasn't as faced about most of these things.
Yeah, plus
Ku ni nga va selfish ku ni nga abandona ti-responsibilities ta mehe ta na n'wana wa mehe mhaka ku na mehe I still feel like I'm a kid myself, or whatever the case was. So I shouldn't fikelanga kufika kwala.
so in terms
And I'm
of,
having fun.
yeah,
You are having
it
fun.
looks you make it look very easy on the internet.
Yeah, I was about to say because one thing I dig about what you do is the relationship that you have with her on the net. Anyway,
Now, I actually kind of took it from Xolani because I was very against my child being on the internet.
is it?
Yeah, but I was like, it's okay.
No, but
It's nice to put out a different
Positive
part
vibe.
of me on the internet than
Yeah.
there has to be another side of me that on the internet that is good.
that can redeem you.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
no, phela mina nyofika
I tirhisa n'wana for PR purposes.
n'wana loyi no n'wi endlela for my own selfish reasons.
But you know where I like what he does,
Yeah.
and I like what other fathers are doing. Like, may I do it anyway? I've always been doing it.
Yeah.
My selfish reason, Igori, for PR's sake, there's this PR
Like black men are deadbeats.
like it's a negative.
I was taking my daughter to ballerina classes,
Yeah.
and the white women, there were like 4 of us black
Ush,
fathers.
yes.
She
They are
was like,
shocked.
"Oh, we must have a daddy dance."
You see nonsense like that.
Yeah,
My point exactly. So now, but time has run. But right now,
yeah.
we are slowly changing that narrative. We are slowly.
I think it's just a minority of us, but we should keep it going.
It's actually not. It's actually not, guys. Here's the reality.
Yeah.
The reality is, now I'm
Maybe we're privileged to be able. You know, we must never take it to we have access to
we have time, guys.
time because of the work we do,
Yes,
plus namali
that's what I was
that
gonna
allows
say.
us to be there
Yeah.
I
full
was going to
time.
say that because our fathers, They didn't have that time.
Ngafanele bangena 9 to 5.
I'm 95.
Man,
Yeah. Huh?
I spend a lot of time with my daughter compared to the mother, yeah?
Yeah.
Because by 9 o'clock, I'm done with
Work.
the radio work. Over. So by the time my daughter finishes school at 1, I go pick her up. The mother looks off until when after 4. Over. So there's a lot of time that we spend
You fetch your age school probably.
Which is validating.
Yeah,
guys,
I fetch her.
It's nice to be fetched to school when
so I fetch her in the afternoon. So we spend a lot of time together to an extent. Yago, I feel like our relationship, as much as he has a relationship with the mother, which is different from the kind of relationship he has with me.
Yeah.
But our relationship here, I think it's a stage where
we're friends.
like for instance, it's not me, so like me.
But
Logurpela sin suwana sa kashkora na suwana sa kish. Yeah, maybe munhlaba bana ngwana ngwana.
Na mina as soon as ngwana mina nungweleketa mana yena. I swear, I start becoming sad. As soon as ngena ndlwini, I'm like, "Eish, kamba xitava xikha xendla so."
Man, guys, my story with fatherhood, ne?
Yeah.
It happened with my son 16 years ago.
Yeah.
So there was, like I'm saying, the perception of death that's out there.
Yeah.
I believed it as well.
Got a nigga saying shit.
Niggas ain't shit. Fathers are not there. That's how we are.
Yeah.
And then fathers are not supposed to do certain things. But yet, man, I yearned for it. Even from my dad, I would yearn for him to be hugged, love you, and all that stuff, right? And then comes my son. Jiki Jiki, I'm sure you guys also felt this. Jiki Jiki, there's an extra sense that's developed in me.
Man, I didn't feel shit for an entire month.
No, yes, man. For the first day, it didn't happen.
Yeah, I was like,
the following day it happened.
Man,
the first day when it was born, I held it and I'm like, I'm feeling nothing for it. Seriously, I'm like, it was in my arm. I'm like, what is this? Like, why am I feeling here? The following day, they love. It was like, then I developed a sixth sense of parenting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but wait a minute. Does it mean, Kuri? What is this that I'm feeling right now? And then from then I started seeking, I would say, answers for myself. Why are fathers
like this
perceived the way they are? And I realized, but guys, there is nothing like that. It's a matter of it's a little matter of Kuri. Because some research that stated Bantima.
Yeah.
Who are involved, and involved meaning Kuri, whether divorced or not, you are part of the kid's life. Yes.
Yeah.
And then Bantima is 30% involvement.
Okay.
Balungu, Nama India is like 90% somewhere there. That gave me a problem. Why is that?
But their social dynamics are set up
My
different
point
to
exactly.
ours.
We blame our fathers easily, but they had a social problem.
No, I feel we should never excuse the social problems and economic issues that we face as a nation, as a race, on an excuse Baba Nuna. When my child was born, I was unemployed.
But you were there.
Yeah, I was there.
Then the father who was staying a bush was forced to come work at the mine. What time was he going to be there?
Yeah, that by default will change. But whenever usually
is that parenting? Kamberi lembe weekend. Usuka Friday la.
You know what I think? What I think the problem is when it comes to parenting back in the day and parenting now and what people are age groups should guard against.
Yeah.
Even we don't hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
Like you are both fathers. Anwari ku consume karongwe Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. During the day and at night, ninga woni ku in the process you are neglecting your parental responsibilities.
Duties,
Kungaba ungari mara quality time now, because I believe what's important go for
True, I believe that too.
first and foremost before you're able to provide with monetary or things that
Reranzo. That's what makes the difference of everything.
That's why I believe that I have an issue when someone only make a father to be the money guy and neglecting the fact that even Ranzle Riani is part of the development young one.
I think the money thing is because of how society socialized us, and plus I think we use it as an excuse to not be there. Bon, I would name drop Mashaka Mamin. Kuna Shagaramin, he would go home.
How old is he?
Shagaramin.
No problem.
So look, Africa, he would tell me like, look, not the baby mom. He has four baby mamas. Loco, Shagaramin. So I kungwenya loko batawa kubala 1,000 the mothers in the bar around the 5 clip. Yeah, that was a strategy to manage his 4 baby mamas. And then this dude, what he would do, the whole time his back, he would be linking up na the brother he only has time for the kids nampunds. You know, when he just woken up, the kids are there. As soon as that dude steps out of Ijarit, it's...
Yeah, you see.
It's over.
You see, such things like Xolani is saying, we need to call out such crap. And how we call it out is not us going on social media and say, hey, she can be so blah, 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 blah. It's saying that
like it's not even a social media thing. Like for instance, maybe 2 weekends, ne?
Yeah.
I feel bad if I have to go home. Yeah,
like, it feels wrong.
I just feel like because now I'm not sure at entrance schools. Very okay,
mina ni khansela na magelegele swara mina loko n'wana mina uza ni fonela let's take maybe ni ri aswigangweni ivi ku nghena call ba ku n'wana u la ku bala na wena yi heleni party, I'm leaving.
You know what I once did, guys?
Yeah.
It was 2006. It's my first trip overseas. Maybe it was like a year and a month. March, April, May. It was a year and 2 months.
Yeah.
So I knew Kuri every week I'm on a show. Like 1 week I'm on a show. I'm on a show. I'm on a show.
Yeah.
So unfinished take I 3 visitors to my fleet in. She one ton here. Mommy see one see all those things. So there was a point I knew, my God, I'm going overseas. So there will be a week where I'm away, where I won't see this child. So I spoke to the mother, which I think she's a brilliant mother in terms of this baby mama stuff. I don't know what that is. She's pound on that. Anyway, no, seriously, guys. If one has to give credit to a person in terms of the drama, I got married twice, guys. None of my wives know that nonsense at the drama. But anyway, so I went to him like, listen, I'm vying next week. Are you able to give me the child for this week? Ntamana show a journey. Oh, we're at the B&B and I play a market theater.
Yeah.
So we're staying at the B&B somewhere in Kensington. Even though Ninike show Ntamana show that whole week, at least one family. But sharp. I know. Even if do you know the men on the cast? What they were saying to me?
Yeah.
Hey, man, what if one ala mana? Why would one mana go? Oh, guys, cause I want to know.
Mina, that's what actually made me become a more active father. So I was trying to figure things out. I'm unemployed. Butomi bzele kono bsandleni. And the mother, they're all making this. And it was not a matter of you because I don't have money, or maybe that was the reason.
It could be that.
Yeah,
Can I pause you there? Can I pause you there?
Yeah.
You please don't lose that point.
Yeah.
Me, bazamile le story selesho. Bala kwenta ngaku because it's the woman's side. Bakukwanoko. May the Lord rest. May she rest in peace, please.
Yeah.
Bazama kur no inwana otakarada no ke kokano lui. Leswi afana akarata mana so na me. Thank you kur for now utshame eka kangwe. Afana tshame ka ndlu ya me. I understand that. Thank you for that. Mara the buck stops ka mena mana ko.
Now,
Now, but anyway, continue that.
So I see, but they are making decisions in one amina, and I'm not happy from the way like the clothes they are choosing. Now I start criticizing almost everything, and I was like, I shouldn't under women.
Abashaba that thing, those so kununga so ngwanafani so atotu kwa so chemist man. Harmens, yes I hate those things.
So the bare no bazule zobziwa orange ngakuthi huku.
No, kuna harmens but they once bought those things for one but one of the kokwanis.
So
if you have manako bak yini because manako she's a kid. I think she was 21 at the time. No, she believed because even wakulu.
Yeah.
And I don't blame her for that. Even wakulu were giving her advice. Xolani. Lokun taka telling me saya.
One side effect.
No. But it's on show. Lokun ni taka ni slashe she harmens sako. But the manako bak isha yini. Ngutota because stang pona yini. It's a different. It's written a different thing on it. It's for something else. Look, bazola nangu tabarina.
Yeah, ne.
Mina ni itsemila loko ngwana ukona sen. Bare athusiwe. Ni butsa le ni exactly. Nuko yini kuthuswa bakwa. It's like it's our way of in the bare hospital swati leso so ba tlhabeteriwa ba rent vaccine or tseno sweswe ba tlhaba ba ngwana mna nga endlang sweswe. Firstly I said no one is going to put injections ka ngwana. This is a newborn baby. It's like a brand new car semele go itlhabetelele and the edition that necessary. Maybe ba boya ba ku loko mali ayi utafa she might get whatever look it's fine ntangulahla. You are not going to explain that to me what's inside there. She couldn't even explain it to me. All she knew it was to administer it, those vaccines. So that was one.
You know what what I think is the best form of parenting, to create space leshi vana va kota ku exista leshi va nga createla hina vatswari va vona. For instance, so ngibona ngaku this thing ya ku vana va hlonipha vanhu lavakulu is slowly but surely becoming a thing of the past. Futhi ngopfu leswi ma 2000 a swi na mhaka mi swidyeli nchumu.
Always been a soko selesho.
My tag life let's do it.
Mi swidyeli nchumu a chavi la byala maseni ka munhu lonkulu like a swa ha ri kona that thing. And I'm not saying ku vanhu lavakulu va faneke va chaviwa or anything mara to preserve morals that guide vanhu ngopfu on day-to-day interaction. Ku vana va hina va ta sala ka space lexi xi nga safe na loko hi nga ha ri kona is to make the space safe. Hina ya ha ri koho hi swi tiva ku loko sweswi ri va bava hi ri va 3 itana like you know what I do man I exist ka the friendship 50 deep to famba ka iti phere ta vana na family setup babo.
Nice.
Njani?
Like his friends usually have children and part of families.
Like family setup so that shiva easy ku ngota ku n'wana wa mina nung hamsa hi line yo karhi leyi ya nga ta identify na yo next door. And I know a lot of people might not necessarily agree with it. some regard it as classism.
Swikhona hambi
No,
vukatini va
it's-
vula loko u tekini u dzumba na van'wana va nga tekiwa loko u ri mzalwana i dzumba na vazalwanikuloni i nga tshami na swidakwa ivi i ri na n'wana mako mina ni tshama na swidakwa majority of the time. Those niggas are deadbeat fathers and they are my friends and and they like my posts loko mina ni posta n'wana mina va ku hey wena u rhandza ngopfu n'wana loyi but so you are the only guy mina friend nga na yena a nga na n'wana and we coordinate swilo otherwise vatimbyana let the rest.
I just feel like it works out for me right now. I'm not saying that it's the best solution.
Yeah, of course.
But
That's not one size.
That's something that I've seen to some degree.
Yeah.
Because also that will keep me in check. Logo he exists a community so am I doing right now? I don't neglect one of me. Neglect
Nako also like and I've learned this like years ago.
Yeah.
Kore, like with me agreeing with what Twan is saying. Kore, you must also try to keep in mind with almost the same circle, because you find I quickly call such things to order. I will try to call it such nonsense to order. Ukumamuisa angarana ngwana.
Yeah.
Ula kunyika advice ngwana. That's what I mean. Like imanyana, like whoa. Toma, say man, she never had a child. Man, she wants to tell you how to be a parent. I'm like, dude, can we just stop right there? So what I learned Kuri, I stopped entertaining. Before I used to entertain such people.
Yeah.
I stopped entertaining them.
Yeah.
And the lesson in reverse with other parents with me with that, what I do is I try not to impose my parenting to you as a parent for
Yeah.
Tingichayisani.
Ita holova serious.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, parenthood, you find a responsibility.
Was one exactly. Tolo.
Final accounting officer.
There must be the final accounting officer. It's right or wrong.
The repercussions or not.
Mako uwiki loko munhu un'wana ku byeletela ku ri u parenta njhani and you take it. Means I'll rap plan anyway.
Tolo.
Freestyle.
My because do you know I have an older brother?
Yeah.
It's not really been out there, but I have an older brother. Anyway, we'll speak about it some other time. Tolo, his daughter,
yeah.
She come and so she's trying to open this bloody lake, like she's trying.
Yeah.
And she's with the dad. So immediately she comes to me. Look, she take me. She open. Look at her. If I stand up, Papa show.
I shall stay.
Anga fulangi. Clearly, even though I said to my brother, but I'll put the mus because she you see what I do, because I'm sensitive and cognizant. What are other parents thinking and doing? I know take time to go.
Ungahola wana mina nyika ngwana mina Schwitz.
Na me afana.
Boko kona kona va stiva n'wana mina loko vo xi nyika Schwitz xi tlhela xi va byela ku nga byeli papa. Ta swi tiva now svara now. Mina kona there's specific behaviors like chukela like it causes her skin is very sensitive, so chukela is very...
Let me switch this thing a bit.
Anyway, have you learned to do hair, Xolani? Hey,
yes, I do my child's hair.
Oh, nice. But me, you got the tip.
I'll do others.
The hair game. Me na kukama, yeah, I'm good. Kukama, no, just, but now having to put it together.
No.
It's problematic.
Man,
yeah.
Man, I do my child's hair, bruh. I do everything for that child. I spend the so some of these things, you just have to, sometimes you have to decide, are you going to purchase 300 rands for the salon or Would you rather keep that 300 rands in your pocket and learn to do this skill? No.
I guess you just gave me a different perspective.
Yes, man. Mara ka show majozi ungayini ya show majozi.
Yeah, so
Yeah, ubala nivele shoba usakhama ubala.
Utayihumesa sibara. Kahle nje.
Yaleyo shoba.
Itlhela icina loko sicina na wena. Ijoin icina.
Come talk to this away.
Shincinisa ngopfu sibara.
Yaleyo show majozi yo bo.
Standard.
Yaleyo you can't even win. You can't even freestyle it.
Let me ask you this, guys. Ne? What's your view? And I'll give context. In view kaba kokwani being our parents, ne? Bring up our kids. Here's my context. I don't want it. I don't agree with it because for the yes,
yeah. Oh, well, concept you give birth and you hand over the child to the grandparents to raise.
Because you know what my parents used to try. They say, "She this
yeah.
I was so convinced when my daughter is born, she's going to be the
lead lady.
Just hand over the child.
You had your chance, guys.
Relax.
The thing is, man,
yeah.
I think for
sure.
I'm not to say I'm not someone per se, but
yes, I agree with that.
When she's a newborn,
yes.
Yeah, beyond that.
Gengele ngayinyimbisa engadlayela wana phela isitivi na neli kudondeni sibaba. Kulaveka abakhegula bathi angakhomuso and so.
That I agree with. That I'm with you.
And phela we can't assume that just because she's a girl she knows what she's
doing.
Yeah. You can't never make that assumption. So you need.
We are new to this thing.
Both of us.
Yeah.
It's different. You have the breast milk.
Yes, that's the difference actually.
That's the only difference.
That's the difference.
I was so frustrated. Breast milk. Because that child only wanted to eat. Actually, 24 hours.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do to help her.
It's kind of
frustrated
my reason why I'm saying
yeah.
Couple years ago, you might know this special. Couple years ago, I got my special one shuttle called drink. That's palette.
Oh, no, only that 10 rand.
10 rand, yes. Yeah. So my parents, I don't know what made them do that. They went and bought more than 50 for some Christmas. So still, alhamdulillah. One, Vulani na TP in So I drove them from Joburg, and I had a job to come and do that journey. So I'm like, okay, guys, and I drove back to come and Joburg in Span.
Yeah.
Nissan PlayStation. You know those kids in 24 hours, ne? So boxes was over 18, 19, what the 2 liters.
Yeah.
That's all they ate.
Yeah.
So, I'm asking my parents, guys, how did you allow them to do that?
No, my God,
guys. Like guys, so that's why
I'm very aggressive. Look, if I now, but I fought with all the grandparents from both sides. Look, on film and honestly, go because their lips show, their lips get dry. Look, must one and they look bula when. Nzeli banyike chukela shinjela hinkwazo shibosha banyike chukela banyike tiyini and mina shwana kokwana it's because of the English. Hey,
bara zo English as well.
Aswara.
Me English mene.
Yeah.
Chukele anjinikanga until she discovers more sweet na so tokomela after 1 year. Ne?
Yeah.
Sukrako asithembanga
sitina katsele ngopfu
senda ku asisikweli sanga ne inwana nyana lexi a ta swimila mina ni swi boletela hi wash.
Yeah.
Isa.
Mina was overweight
Yeah.
makati Danone na ti juice.
Hey, I so Danone that's isingakona kwalani, isingakona kwalani.
Akuri like her.
She was talking nanzika, she's still after Sherna 1 year.
Yeah.
She was like, la, kuna,
Kafamba la.
so.
Guys, come on, you should see my daughter right now.
She tana nape, she like chichwa nape, she tana nape shosha, she tana gown, she read.
It's like a change my name. No, so but man, all in all, I think as dads now, guys, I think we're doing good of it.
Yeah.
I think we're doing
Yeah,
good.
I think we're not doing bad.
We're not doing bad, really. We're really not doing bad.
Hey, I'm not looking forward to teenage.
Yeah, teenage guys. Okay,
Stuff
come
revive.
how old is yours?
7.
7.
She's turning 7 in 2 months.
Do you have a teenager?
No, she's gonna turn 7 in
No.
2 months.
Do you have a teenager? Do you have another child except her?
No.
Okay, man.
My first.
Guys, I have a teenager. He's 16 this year.
I said Paraman.
Oh, Shapagamas, but
That's why I'm scared of having a boy child.
I need him. I can't make me. I've never hit my son. Not even. I've hit him once. Mara, and it was after an agreement. Could look when I come in the go. If you look say, she end like ambe.
You had to follow through.
I had to follow through because if I didn't follow through, it was going to be a problem. No comment in away. So you tell the neighbor even if she trap. Mara, I spoke more than Kushiba. So I can't hit kids. But all in all, come on, I have like
about come on, right?
But all me. Yeah.
Me. I can't go for any. Maybe it's not 2-3 weeks or so.
Oh,
Now, Guspavo, was an actual Guspavo. And I know some more Gushiba, name Shiba, she had a gorilla. She's that's how I tell you, she would tell her she is. So bila mi va bien go. Asikwatanga, so I should recognize anga so nishiba nisibini, shuka go.
I don't want belly abuses, but kuna difference yo hundla ngwana na difference yo.
But I felt bad. I felt very bad.
Me guys, tell him my son also an pakamel.
Yeah.
So here's what my boy does. This year, not even this year, a month ago.
Yeah.
Because of these whole COVID things, we had to change schools now.
Yeah.
So the previous schools, I'm owing a lot of money. But no, you can't come back. And hey, now I made plan. I took him to another school.
Yeah.
Because another school, same quality of education, but they teaching differently.
Yeah.
So Bulani is tricking us. I like when that met Bulani. I like when that met lead. No, I'm not going to tell you. Shall call them met Longwando.
Say to me.
If things are too easy, he becomes bored. And he switches so now he becomes bored and wants to switch. And because it's easy, he doesn't want to spend an effort on something like that.
Yeah.
He rather spend effort on something else and leave that thing alone.
Oh.
So I did that also at school. So I know the trick.
Yeah.
So Vulani Lui at this new school, she did some mates at Black Sen.
Yeah.
She come 5 out of 50. So initially, I'm thinking he failed because he failed. Because the teacher picked up the same problem.
He didn't make an effort.
He didn't make an effort, and he could see this one is smart. So look, the teachers complain, no, 1 hour, so. Guess what she does? She says the same thing because can you at my school? We had a tutor. We had 2 maths tutors. They said the same thing about Vulani. I did maths at school. I saw the same thing. Remember, the same thing that 4 other people have picked up about Vulani without even meeting them. I'm like, this boy does that. So I sharp okay. Even that but even I called the mother I saw a meeting by the 3 conference call. Look, guess what? Come in school. Oh, look teacher as all level. We learn shit guy. Shit mem cuz why we shout away.
Sure right.
Wash
out.
Yes sir. You I don't want to pakamla bakulu. You need to lay.
Well, shout that teacher.
Well, shout teacher. Yeah.
I need teacher shout again.
Until he are over 21. He can have a position where they have a discussion. Shout land.
Okay.
He must be able to take command and respect and listen and move.
Okay.
On this, even what happened? So whilst we explaining and talking with the fairy seal because of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know. I gave me a MacBook.
Yeah.
My old MacBook. I've always said this. Discipline material. I said this near 60 near my show. Okay, one MacBook. And a 2. I know so so you know better. Because right now we've moved to a new school. Malilogi Beni where you are Ulogi Pagamelina. Here's what I loved what he did. After Pagamelina did nonsense. You don't do that.
He corrected his behavior.
Bro, he sent me the most heartfelt message I've read.
Yeah.
Shuk Papa, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'm finding so.
Yeah.
I'll try to put more effort. I did I'm learning so. I did not put effort.
Oh, nice.
Guess what? Now the exam come 60-70%.
Oh, that's good.
So that's why may I believe in talking Maroko Pagama.
Just one punch. That's why I'm afraid to have a boy. I don't think I'm ready. I don't think enough that I will know how to raise a boy child. I feel like I would treat him. I feel like I would treat her different to Orang. I'll be extra hard on him.
You won't.
No, I kind of know, Sbar.
You know.
I don't like boys.
You're gonna be hard on him.
Yeah, I'm gonna be hard. I'm gonna expect him to be like I'm building him to take over.
Yeah, but I am building him to take over.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be extra hard on him to say, like I'm preparing to go to job exhibit bar. Compared to Oranga love chumi everything she wants. The money I'll make him earn, even Lona Logalati toys, I'll make him work for it.
No, but I do make him work for it.
But if I have 2 children, then he sees me treating the girl like a princess, and then I'm like, aye. You see,
no,
I don't think I'm ready. I don't think me now will ever. Not okay. I will at one point.
But because who apply to lam from lam
yeah. Yeah, but for Antsipin is one Steve Antsipin. Xolani. Thanks, my guy, for the chat.
I know. Thanks, guys.
Hopefully,
for the chat. That's fine.
Laba bakuranda ko batakutiva even more. But anyway, what do you think? What happened before, fam? What's happening in radio and talent? Where are the good hosts? Where are the legendary people who used to do radio? Like, equal talent, Masibula.
Sorry, what's happening with what?
With talent in radio, the hosts. Because you can have all the content people behind you, but when the host sucks, like, where is that? I feel like we haven't discovered any new radio talent in so many years throughout, whether MLFM or as far as Metro and all of them. I feel it's like the same. I'm not seeing anything that's wow.
Do you know what I think is the reason for that? Ne?
Yeah.
Radio has become so commercialized. Whoever who's hired to be at the helm of a radio station is first and foremost thinking about the revenue element. You want this is for them to remain at that job, because you must remember that now most of these managerial positions different by maybe my 3-5 year contract.
So
you only have so you only have about 4 to 5 years are you coming or are you going? And with that said, most of these managers, particularly program managers and station managers, are forced to use a system that they know. Say, for instance, you a programs manager at Metro. When you are now hired at Jacaranda, the first thing that you're likely to do is
repeat
coach talent that you had at Metro to take with you, because with them, there's a winning formula that you can apply that is going to give you immediate results, as opposed to just starting from scratch. Where I love someone who, maybe who has never played commercial radio space, revenue, advertisers, and that sort of thing. So the current structure that radio is making it hard for talent, particularly new talent, to be absorbed. And most of these radio stations no longer have the training slots like that record midnight. Most of these radio stations now automation. Between 12 and 5, it's just music playing. So, my guys, spaces such as podcasts are now enjoying attention. People feel like maybe that would be the platform where they launch their careers. Some feel like podcasts even enough freedom to have unlimited, uncensored content. So it's just a matter of because yes, as much as I'm saying that's the case, it's not to say that other radio stations are not risking it all and going the completely new talent route. For instance, 5FM in their 2021 lineup, they went for people that were active on anyone's radar. When got the breakfast show, when you got prominent shows. So it goes to show that it's doable. So it must be a risk the person at the helm is willing to take. If you feel like, within the 5 years you can come with a new team, and still win, then so be it. But if you are not safe with going that route, likelihood is you're going to go poach people from stations you worked with so that you beef up your
starting 11,
your stay.
So how long do you think it's going to take you to run MLFM or Capricorn?
I have a question. I have a valid question. Do you think?
And there are days where I sit and think, okay, what direction do I want my radio career to take? The nice thing about my experience with radio, it's a matter of time, I think, before I can ascend a role because I do have the experience, I do have the know-how. But is someone willing to take the risk on me? That's another question.
But yes.
I'm sure National, maybe they go say not now, eh?
But then here's my question then. My question in two is like in twofold, but in one, based on fact that what's your next move? Oh, because you can't freelance, you can't do all these other funny things.
9 to 5,
I'm excited.
Okay, but let's think. Do you think then in that space, in that thinking, there is a space for a commercial Tsonga radio? And do you think there's a space for a talk radio Tsonga? Because you see, one of the things
there's a space for
everything. One of the things that is I felt we are lacking behind it because we don't have a space where we can vent. We don't have a space.
We don't have private media.
We don't have private media. We don't have how we can channel our thinking and our identity through. Looking at MLFM, it's nothing. And MLFM are forced to play within a certain perimeter. They cannot move out of it.
There's a space for everything. There's a space for talk Tsonga radio station, like you put it. There's a space for urban Tsonga radio.
Yeah.
There's a space for young people. There's a space for old people. The direction they want to go digital migration is a direction that
I don't believe that thing is ever going to come in my life.
Yeah, but initially I think it was meant to address maybe those
exactly that, ne?
Exactly that, because look, yes, Matsonga, Mara, it's not to say that we have the same interests. There are people who talk radio, Africa the whole day. There are people who just want to listen to Tsonga music, wire the whole day. There are people who just want to listen to hip hop and R&B, piano, rebellion. So because of that, there's always gonna be room for growth. But the question is, the consumers, are we ready to give support? I don't know.
Yeah, I think in terms of support, what we need to understand, support, it's like Vatsonga want you to prove yourself first, then they'll come through. And it's never like a default thing. And I think as creators, we tend to focus on those who have not pulled in and start undermining our core audience. Because you start focusing on who is not paying attention. And you lose focus on whoever is giving you the attention. So we need to maybe start building.
Because I'm already thinking, maybe an urban radio station, for instance. Yamatonga.
Yeah.
Already, I'm imagining the negativity that is going to surround it. Okay.
Tea party ngepfumeli tea party. Hey, ngabzelwa kuri kuna tinhlamba kuna yini.
Mitienda my yo-yo.
Yeah, but I think the future of Tsonga in terms of broadcasting, it's in a good position. It's just that I should that we have the potential of doing it.
Yeah,
because no one has ever created platforms for us.
I think the future is bright for Vatsonga. Like if you look at it, we are only musically alone in music in China. Because it's only a showcase. It can hip hop now, R&B, so you can tell. So we still have Malembe Mayatala
behind
with what we are able to offer, because you must remember we are those that were always considered iPhone or whatnot.
The beauty of it, Balungu have not beaten us to the market. So it means when these things mushroom,
I like that.
When all these platforms start popping up, they will be owned by us, not
like
Balungu.
We are not. We were not overexposed to an extent that we say Ivan Bakare. We celebrate the success. Our first Tsonga TV production. So you can only give you an idea of how far we still have to go.
For everything we did not have while everyone was having it mainstream, we can now have our own wave where we start creating the JML, the Street Journal, the YFM Tsonga, the Metro Tsonga, the 702 Tsonga. We can literally build an entire media industry of things that are in the past, but to us they are relevant because they're only coming.
They'll be seen as new.
Yes. So
support
will come. The support will come.
it's an exciting time to be Tsonga in South Africa, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I
Because
believe it. It was.
there's a lot of untapped territory that we
Yes.
still need to
I think
just occupy.
I like the fact that Kuri, which what Fanny is saying, Kuri, which I never thought of it like that, but it actually is like that. Kuri, when these things start to pop up, it will be us owning.
Yeah.
And then actually,
Hey, I never tell I imagine like I seen but the intelligent one,
so the advantage of that, when we start owning this thing, and it means it turns us into Mughals.
Yeah.
And when we become Mughals who are
We'll own the market.
We'll own the market.
Our own market.
The underdog.
Yeah.
The underdog.
It's hamkahle, so it's just and plus boxolani sebarangindlela, so at any point loko un'wana un'we wa hina
Ayi ranganga ngayisime kuyirangindlela.
loko hi ku rangindlela a hi ri ni ri loko ni ku rangindlela ni vula rangindlela in terms of gaining experience ku ri hina loko ho weliwa hi 10 million hi kuma the right licenses ha ku landza sivara mina ni ku byela list ya mina
mngansima doda mngansina kombela
ene ni ku byela list ya mina me ka MLFM I've already made a list sivara it's Temzana Reloaded wena and Optimus Prime iman Ranzo Optimus ibona that's the na Kelkel but Kelkel angar wa hanya Kelkel wa ulobe it was Kelkel. Those are the people I'm coming for. Like I've accepted good, I'll never work at MLFM because I can't squad go unlike Xolani Savage Mara was squad out to switch it off. Me as soon as I go live, I don't know how to do that, but I just want to put on a show.
Hey, when you pay the bills, brother.
Hey, Mina, I think where I'm paying the bills now, in Fumela Kurenga Jamuka and still do my job. But I don't think MLFM, I don't think Vatsonga would be comfortable with someone like me.
No, like I'm saying, there's a certain structure within MLFM which is.
No, I think the audience would reject me outside the management.
No,
the audience
I was about to say
me.
that structure of how it is an accepted,
a communal type of
and that won't change.
But guys, you're missing my point.
Yes,
my point is for let's say for instance South African television.
Yeah.
And at the production the thing are explicit in terms of sex.
Yeah.
Like me personally fan board as I go look on TV and give people whatever sex bangamba South African production. So like and when you run out of stomach
even cancel I love that.
Mara I didn't
Mara
Boss cancel it fast. Yeah.
Hey, this one the language aspect, kumena your approach to content that you think might not be right for our station currently.
Yeah.
It's not to say there's no market that exists for it. But the more we open up the industry, and by opening up the industry, I'm not saying for go van balakela MT or to no, I'm saying for go let there be more platforms that can house more talent. Let there be diversity, let there be options, let there be choices, let there be
light.
Light, alternatives. No, because honestly speaking, if he consumes currently South Africa content, it's limiting and
it is limiting. It is very limiting.
The use of language is vulgar.
It's life. Yeah. That's how life is. And I bet you're not the only Tsonga person who likes that. And yet you are denied to have that in your own language because
Vatsonga are branded we're humble and but anyway.
That thing is played out. We must be as exclusive as possible.
Yeah.
You want a production yamatsonga kwala loko isungula sini ya kusungula
tile kutsweni
wantsati topless kwalani
eta ishuta ngabile
Okay, so
No, Alame.
Oh, come we did a very nasty scene of showing condoms with sperm.
No,
in one of
Alame.
the
Yeah,
movies.
I shot.
Oh, yeah.
I shot some
I
crazy things.
refused. I refused.
I shot a scene. Here's how I shot the scene. About I talk to ne? Look, I talk to Ibi.
She ashubula condom anyika cherry to put it on the
eyelash.
I begala just on the head initially standard headboard.
Even if no, something is missing.
Fumana chalama on the condom.
Also,
I was like, no.
Look at my
As into
Okay, maybe that was a tad a bit explicit.
Yeah.
Guys, sexy condom. Kunjani.
No, Mara Swasa is too much.
Too much to what? But that's what happens.
It's too much.
That's what happens.
So okay, maybe kumbe instead ya go condom le you manati content tayo kumbe condom rap ya ku komba sa go okay.
Nah,
go
guys.
No, we settled for the condom rap, but yeah, with the particulars, I was like,
Guys, I commit the particulars na.
The particulars later pelata shun. That's what sex. It's not a public thing in the African context.
Maranaku of money where you're coming
those
from.
two guys are in a public space.
Which two guys? The Lavabargu.
They're in a private space. So
Yeah,
the fact that we are watching it does not make us to be in the world.
It was going to. I was trying to avoid what? Because it was linked, associated with somebody.
Okay.
Anangalabi bagu wana movie ya Exxon in a spam like.
Now, from that point of view, I'll go into that from what point of view, Colin.
No, I was saying, so to some extent, right, man, we need to see that. The realities must not be censored. Anyway, even when they become censored, if you are censored for those that are underage.
Yes.
And it's Vatsonga is trying because people are scared to kiss and be affectionate on TV because culturally
Yes, Mara. That's
inappropriate.
I think I can pambo, yes. Kuna ona scene ya logo kensani na muswa kisana barenza ka mova. Bukosi ka shiba taka e photo. So while they were shooting that scene, me anime la and where I was supposed to be shooting the photos from. So I got a group of people who were watching us shooting. So when they saw Musa na Kensani
Kissing in the car.
kissing and grabbing each other and going into the car kissing.
Yeah.
But I was I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean? No, as Angel as I catch a Vatsonga. What do you mean? Late and Tofana, I would talk to papi like
But I was always at BCCSA. Every case.
So that aspect, that's the one part where I still feel like if
we can do that only with private media because as soon as you go TV, gonna BCCSA, which it's forced by default to listen to the case and say
and shut us down.
It won't shut down, but if you lose the case, then it's like don't do it again, and then you keep doing it.
But are we not like
That's the thing, though.
It was more of the complaints were more cultural than because the time was right, but we learned that Guyana was more of a family show despite playing at 9:30.
Yes.
So you couldn't treat it as a 9:30 show. You had to treat it as a 7:30 show.
Because Vatsonga, I think
not Vatsonga. The show became a family show. It was watched by
you know why?
Ndangu Mago. So Bakegulu were not getting uncomfortable.
But you know why?
Yeah.
Because Bakegulu, Vatsonga and everyone, they've never had that. So
no, but what's one Mumbangu about the river?
Still, they've never had that.
If kuna Gianni, and then kuna Xolani Ndlovu ya Tsonga, and then kuna Mafanato, kuna diversity. Then people will be able to know kukateka content lay.
I mean,
I think that's even the thing with MLFM. That's when I realized when I stopped criticizing MLFM. I realized I'm expecting
it's got its own audience.
yes, and the sense like undermine those million people who listen to MLFM and love it.
Mm.
But really, no, do this, do that. Why is this not here? And I realized I just need to accept MLFM is not for me.
Yes.
As much as Tsonga, I'm not the target audience, and I need to move on and find something for myself that I can consume. So I think Nalega TV is just
the same thing.
It's the same thing. We just need
the complication again.
expand.
The complication again. Where Vatsonga even took it to heart.
Yeah.
Guys, there's not been something like that for them
yeah.
in the whole in their life
Existence. They've never seen something like
They've
that.
never seen something like that where the whole show was strong as well. So of course they had to be attached to it and become really comfortable to it.
Forget Gengelia. Ndlovu. When I want the BM, I can sing.
2 hours later.
German machine. It dropped. Yeah, Lena time as well.
I time is I time. It's because we've been on for 2 hours.
So does it cut after 2 hours?
It cuts after 2 hours, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that because I don't make calls that long.
I make calls that long. It used to be 1 hour, so now it is 2 hours.
Mashak, this has been Tsonga
Let
NSA.
me tell him. Let's. I'm calling him just so he could.
Airtime.
Airtime.
At times,
But
or airtime and a cut after 2 hours.
It does.
hello.
Xolani.
Yeah.
No, airtime I cut it was not 2 hours thing. Why even
Oh yeah.
You see?
They think.
Anga phone
But I
window.
just drink.
Yeah, I can say no samina me shawatela kame man crash amnaka MLFM. Let me think.
Timzan.
I chichi.
Temzana na Nwanyango. Yeah.
Nwanyango.
Kensan.
Damn
Me shawatela.
lo sen.
Kensiro service.
Tell me the Mari episode.
Monday today
Sunday.
Munduku are posting one and then we'll post this Friday.
Okay, no problem.
Ekomala photo ya khale sba.
Watsunduka loko vanhu lombeta ku pfinya swara.
Yes, musala unjaku uthama he was in a space ala thola mas bangu lombeta ku upfinyile. Akomeleni.
Yo.
And ube like it was not
As
just
abantu betewe kumbe abantu betena obi.
Obi ani obi yena ngada mara loko noyandwa apfuka. Pare man kambe shinoyelana.
Kafumeleni guys.
Kero. So they won a I used to work for a publication ya ekhazina Xolani ngakho.
Clue magazine.
Yeah, Clue magazine. So I used to write there in Xolani. So they did the Tulamash Music Festival. The festival.
What happened at that festival? Anyway, I'll come to it. I used to love that concept.
Ebi yeah, hey, the Malta Karada as far. Ebi lie. Look, if you lie, and these two girls had won a competition to be part of the
backstage and whatever.
just to be part of the experience. Look, if you first night, kafambiwa kuyiwa bzaleni as everyone loko kubuyiwa se mina ngonya le imaki these two chicks wathama next door mina ku hayi ifasini obi ufasi the chubby one mina by default nisale na barikero loko ifika la roomini she starts going crazy swara lo afaneka faswa mina kero starts losing her mind, throwing things at falela kamareni not kamera at toilet and started screaming, and then all of a sudden kuna silence.
Screaming what?
Yes, Abzala, she's drunk. She's just look at the drama.
Okay.
I never listen get school.
I started deal.
Hey, obviously that was the strategy. Even via mndunguna mpundu bukosi wagongonda.
Imam goes in the
cousin
the owner clue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wagongonda uchuwina yena sithemse wendlini. Endlini ubula njani? Yena nwana next door mipfinye Brian. Cause the man
phela iswe nampunzo straight from the vein bakuyita le kuna problem kinyanweni.
And phela the man ubina siyat condom ebava aya roomini yena. So asiyanwa lo agana mina lambedi yona tlele.
Okay.
So when that chick woke up from the bathroom, afika kuma mngani wena mnenge ipfulekini hansa Kunat condom all over the floor. Now she lost it. Good, those two niggas while I was passed out in the bathroom. Basale bapfinya mngani
Oh
wami.
my God. Oh my God.
And the girl, the loibange ufinyweni angasepfuka when all these accusations are being made.
Oh, so
She's still passed out.
The lady in the shower here
Wakes up,
wakes up.
sees a friend in that state and says, "Yey,
This is what happened.
dipfinyini little next door." So atabukosi, hey, wendlini is because now so because he was buying me time before they call the police to say wendlini, just tell me directly. Sena mina nchuna na switini phela mina nibhangi anendla ngichumne I just came to maromba ko ezibara barupfinyini ukano obi yena ngasana na xinweta lexa the chubby one yena ngapha mina ningeni and then vanhu like it was a because in nkarhi loyi hanya yona it was a thing we laughed about once it was cleared out because the girl woke up no I was not raped I had sex with that guy. So that's how
it cleared out.
Because she woke up and was like, no, we had sex now, not the man one. And then guess what? During my influencer days, I was at a brutal fruit party. She was there as an influencer.
My girl.
And then she was like, hey, so about that. I was like, yeah, cool, yeah. But
look, I couldn't me tweets, but I still have especially emotional. She got Twitter, but I still got Twitter. So this what happened.
But when I came back to Gauteng, it really kicked in. It pissed me off. Oh, that could have ended just like that. And then I imagine I'm trying to but anyway, these things happen.
You're trying to make a name for yourself, really.
And the pelano ringetan ku the endla munhu swara and ala na vutomi byele ku nimtsandleni and I'm like, hey, napfuka say I'm a serious media person.
Next thing you are a rapist.
Next thing say
you are Harvey Weinstein.
Swara. But anyway, these things happen. Luckily, it was cleared out. If that girl woke up and did not remember fuck all, you
were in trouble.
Yeah.
Anyway, my parting shot, I don't know where I met Xolani, but for some reason Xolani and there's been some vibing that we connected somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, that festival I liked it. The whole idea Xolani, for some reason I always fucked with it.
Yeah, that was a dope concept.
I don't know how we met, bro. I don't know how we met, you and I. But for some reason, I always find myself gravitating towards you.
Mara it was at that same concert. Maybe ni see when I transport in busy now gele. A stadium answer.
You be June.
Yeah, now we see we are June and then I had to leave Nabu. Now Iban Kulani Mugiba.
What the hell?
I was young. I was 22.
Yes.
Yeah, it was dark. It was.
Yeah, guys.
We are cool. Anyway, when we come to Polokwane, we'll link up, my guy.
When you come to Polokwane.
Ani papa wana upfaliti kuman. Say enda njani.
Tonight.
He's gonna close it even further, guys.
No, it's this time engage the regulations.
He's closing it further.
We're coming, definitely we're coming. We have a lot of things to shoot. Plus now you're part of that shoot that we're coming for.
Thank you. My team was.
Yeah, sure it was.
No, sure, bro.
All right, mbana majambo ya sharp.
No,
yeah, it's one of those now.
Sharp.
Svara.
Yep.
Slava idea because Bila utem info like 7.
Okay, cool.
So these guys, this being Tsonga SA Nafumani and Wakashiluvana.
Namona Mashenk, Abshi.
I listen to it on the internet.
Being Tsonga in SA.
Listen live, online.
I'm Shane. This episode of Being Tsonga in SA is proudly sponsored by Sagwadi Hotel, a 4-star establishment in Mukuhlu, in the town of Hazyview. For more information, contact Sagwadi Hotel on 013 010 1780.